No doubt you have seen people with differing opinions trying to make their points. How did they go about? Hello and welcome to today's lesson where we shall learn a great deal about debates and creating balanced arguments. To begin, what exactly is a debate? A debate is a formal discussion during which opposing arguments on a specific topic are discussed. Today we will focus on the debate topic, should homework be abolished? Every debate is an affirmative and a negative team. The affirmative argue for the topic, for instance, they could say, homework should be abolished. While on the other end, the negative argue against the topic, and they could say, as in our context, homework should not be abolished. Before we plan our response, we must first brainstorm ideas related to the topic. With a partner, brainstorm at least 4 ideas related to the question, should homework be abolished? You might consider the relevance and impact of homework. You can pause the video now and continue when you have completed the activity. Should homework be abolished? Some sample responses might include, homework takes up time that could be spent with friends and family. Homework consolidates learning in the classroom. Homework helps us prepare for senior years. Homework can be boring and repetitive. How then can we create balanced arguments when debating? You might notice that your brainstorm helps you consider both perspectives. This is important when we debate. We can organize these ideas into affirmative or negative. On the affirmative, we could say, homework should be abolished. And our reasons could be, homework takes up time that could be spent with friends and family. And, homework can be boring and repetitive. On the other hand, the negative team could say homework should not be abolished, and their reasons could be, homework consolidates learning in the classroom, and, homework helps us prepare for senior years. Now that we've learned this much, let's learn about the structure of a debate. In a debate, each team typically has 3 or 4 speakers. The affirmative first speaker begins and then the negative first speaker follows. The teams take turns speaking and each speaker has a special role. And here is a handy tip for you. To rebut means to challenge or counter an idea. A well thought out and articulated rebuttal matters a lot to the success of a team at a debate. Now, let's zoom in on each speaker and their role in a debate. The affirmative first speaker makes the opening statement and states main argument for the debate. The negative first speaker rebuts affirmative first speaker and presents their main argument. The affirmative second speaker rebuts the negative first speaker and presents their main argument. The negative second speaker rebuts the affirmative second speaker and presents their main argument. The affirmative third speaker rebuts the negative second speaker and summarizes main arguments. And finally, the negative third speaker rebuts the affirmative third speaker and then summarizes their main arguments, signaling the end of the debate. Now, let's learn how you can organize your response using the PEAL structure. The P in the PEAL acronym means you should present your point. This is your argument. For example, homework takes up time that could be spent with family and friends. Next, you should provide evidence to support this argument. For example, homework takes approximately 30 to 60 minutes daily. Next, go on to explain how this is linked to your point. For example, this valuable time could be spent socializing and bonding with loved ones. And finally, link back to your overall stance, whether affirmative or negative. For example, homework should be abolished so that young people can spend time building social connections. It's your turn now to use the PEAL structure to flesh out one of your initial brainstorm arguments. You can pause the video now and continue when you have completed the activity. It's time to talk about your rebuttal. How should it be like? Every speaker, aside from affirmative first speaker, has the role of rebutting an argument presented by the other side. To do this effectively, we use evidence and reasoning to address the opposition's argument respectfully. Note the word, respectfully. Now, if the affirmative argues homework takes up time that could be spent with family and friends, what might a reasonable rebuttal be? You can pause the video to think of a reasonable answer before proceeding. Some examples might include, students already have several other available hours in the afternoons and weekends to socialize. Building strong work habits is more important than socializing. Students spend many hours together during the school day building social connections. Let's see a sample response of a negative second speaker on the topic, homework should be abolished. Check if you could identify the PEL sentences within this response as well as the sentences that form the rebuttal. The second speaker from the affirmative argued that homework is boring. We would like to counter that an activity does not have to be constantly engaging to be of benefit. Athletes don't always find training entertaining, though we can all agree on the benefits. Speaking of benefits, homework consolidates learning that takes place in the classroom. This is evident in language, where students who read more learn up to 42% more words than their peers. Having the opportunity to practice skills taught at school strengthens a student's understanding. Therefore, we strongly believe that homework should not be abolished as it improves and complements learning at school. Now you can pause the video, annotate the response to see if you could identify the PEL sentences before continuing. From the response, the rebuttal is, the second speaker from the affirmative argued that homework is boring. We would like to counter that an activity does not have to be constantly engaging to be of benefit. Athletes don't always find training entertaining, though we can all agree on the benefits. The point given by the speaker is, speaking of benefits, homework consolidates learning that takes place in the classroom. The evidence is, this is evident in language, where students who read more learn up to 42% more words than their peers. The explanation is, having the opportunity to practice skills taught at school strengthens a student's understanding. And finally, the link is, therefore, we strongly believe that homework should not be abolished as it improves and complements learning at school. It is a fact that public speaking can be daunting, but here are some tips to try to feel more calm, confident and in control while at it. Engaging in eye contact in public speaking fosters connection and trust with the audience. Use hand gestures to complement verbal communication and enhance the clarity and impact of your message. Projection your voice to ensure that your message is heard clearly and effectively by the audience. Try and maintain a balanced pace to allow the audience to absorb information effectively without feeling rushed or bored. It feels great that you have followed me this far. Let's quickly recap before we call it a day. In this video we have learned that debates have two sides, the affirmative and the negative, and each speaker has a special role. We also learned that speakers can use the PEL structure to organize their arguments. And finally, we learned that in public speaking, it is great to use eye contact, hand gestures, voice projection and pacing to effectively deliver our arguments. Thank you for staying till the end. And here's a debate topic to consider. Should schools ban the use of AI for students? Share your views in the comment section. Please remember to like, share and subscribe to my channel for more insightful contents like this. See you in my next video.